Your reading for today is by the same person who wrote all the readings for this month. It's Rev Dr David Alexender. I want to preface this by saying he wrote this primarily for people who are in the Science of Mind community, Centers for Spiritual Living in particular, New Thoughts in general. And they've got a certain understanding of his philosophy. But I just want to say, please listen to the reading all the way to the end, because I do have some important observations on it. It needs some unpacking, okay? That's all I'll say. So listen to it. It's a good reading, but please listen right through to the end, because I do have observations on it. It's called I Hold It. The first quote is from Byron Katie, who is actually still around, born in 1942, but still around. There's an American speaker and author who taught a method of self-inquiry called The Work, or The Work of Byron Katie. Her real name is Byron Kathleen Mitchell, and she was born Byron Kathleen Reed. That's just her background. And she does a lot of work with inner child and so on. Anyway, she said, "You're not stuck because of the thought. You are stuck because you believe it. You are not stuck because of the thought. You're stuck because you believe it." Okay? That's kind of a good introduction to the whole reading. Ernest Holmes says, if we want to be free from suffering, we have to stop inflicting it, and inflicting it on ourselves, actually. And that's in Creative Living on page 96. And this is Rev Dr David Alexender. And he says, a significant practice over the years that has helped me is this. The thought isn't holding me, I'm holding it. True. The wound isn't holding me, I'm holding it. The belief isn't gripping me, it's my hands that won't let it go. Even painful memories do not imprison me. I hold them, clutching them as if they were something precious, something necessary to preserve. We often cringe at the phrase, let it go. Yet, when I began to see that I was the one maintaining my grip on suffering, so much began to shift. I realized my recurring thoughts, the old narratives, the deep-seated hurt, have no power other than the power that I give them. I keep them alive by claiming them as mine, by giving them rent-free space in my consciousness. It was Peace Pilgrim who taught, anything you cannot relinquish when it has outlived its usefulness possesses you. Freedom, then, is not a forceful act of banishing or erasing the pain. It is a gentle, compassionate act of loosening my grip, allowing my heart and my mind to rest, open enough for light and space to return. Today, try sitting quietly with yourself. Make a list of the themes, beliefs, or truths you've carried for too long. For each one, softly repeat, this is not holding me, I'm holding it. And then breathe. Imagine your fingers beginning to unclasp, even if just a little. Allow space where once there was clutching. This is the first step toward remembering who you truly are without the weight of all you've been holding. Okay, so that last part is something that is incredibly important. He says, allow space where once there was clutching. This is the first step toward remembering who you truly are without the weight of what's been holding you. Everything he said is true. However, it's not as simple for a lot of people as just doing that in order to get rid of all this stuff. You know, we all in our lives have undergone traumas of one sort or another. A lot of them happened when we were kids, and some came from our parents, from our siblings, from our friends, people at school, teachers, people in authority. And often these wounds are buried deeply within us. And they have been often subconsciously driving us. So when we want to let go, as he says, this is a good beginning. It is a good beginning, to sit down and make a list of what we think is holding us back. But some of it we don't know. Often we have work to do to find that out. But assuming we do know, it's a good idea to repeat, this is not holding me, I'm holding it. But remember this, for stuff that's been there for years and that's really serious, many of us will need the help of an outside party to get rid of these. I use something called emotional freedom technique with my clients. It helps them get rid of lots of deep-seated memories and trauma. Some people need to see a psychiatrist. Some people can do it with a therapist. Some people with a minister or a practitioner. So just remember this. This is a great start. But it will be spiritual malpractice to say that anybody is truly able to do this on their own. Lots of people are. We can do it with our own spiritual mind treatments, our own meditations, our own repeating of this. But oftentimes we need help, and there is nothing absolutely wrong. In fact, I encourage people, if they're having a problem letting something go from their past that's still holding on to them now, that if they cannot let it go, just with meditation, with affirmations, to step it up a level and see someone else, whether it be a therapist, somebody like me, an emotional freedom technique person, a minister, a practitioner, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. So this is my take on all this. The affirmation is good. I set my suffering free. Well, when you use that affirmation, see what comes up. And then if you can actually release whatever it is that comes up on your own, fantastic. If you're a practitioner of spiritual mind treatment and you can use that and it works, fantastic. If you know techniques yourself, you've been taught them and they work, use them. But as I said, if you need outside help, for goodness sake, go seek it. Right. Important announcement. At 7 p.m. tonight at the Hindu Temple of the Woodlands on Forest Gate in the Woodlands, which is off of Woodlands Parkway, 7 p.m. tonight, Central Time, and it's not online, it's live. There will be the annual Faiths Together Thanksgiving celebration. And of course, the Hindus will be there. We'll have Muslims there, Christians there, New Thought people there, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will be there. Lots of Christian denominations. It's a wonderful celebration. Each group there will perform something for like 3 or 4 minutes. And there will be food provided afterwards. It will be mostly Indian food. Not all, but mostly Indian food. So I encourage everybody, if you can come along, you get this message soon enough, please come join us. Look out for my colleague tomorrow, Reverend Lisa Ryan at 9:15. I do not know if we're doing our midweek meditation because Danielle Mercadal is still under the weather and she would appreciate your prayers. So until next time, till I'm back, hopefully at 5 o'clock tomorrow, namaste.